What's up, YouTube? If you're new here, my name is J.R. Smith, and I'm an incoming medical student at the Mayo Clinic Alex School of Medicine. Whether you're just starting your undergraduate career or you're entering your final year, college is both one of the most exciting times of your life, but also one of the most important times of your life. And if you're a pre-medical student or any student planning on pursuing any graduate level studies in the future, your time in college is that much more meaningful for your future endeavors. So what can you do to actually maximize your undergraduate experience? Well, I think it's best to break it down into two categories: personal and professional. What can I do to grow as a person, and also what can I do that will help me reach my career goals? If you focus your mindset on these things during your undergraduate career, then when graduation actually comes, you'll be able to sit back and reflect and know that you got everything that you could have out of your time in college. We're going to start with personal growth, because regardless of if you're a pre-med or not, this will ultimately help you in reaching your career goals. And one of the best ways to grow as a person is through experiences. I'm an avid believer that you will learn much more from actually experiencing something than you will if you just read or study something. In about 50 BC, Julius Caesar wrote, "Experience is the teacher of all things." This idea has literally been around for thousands of years. So what do I mean by experience as much as you can? College is unique in that there are seemingly never-ending opportunities to join clubs, attend events, network, and of course, party. Now, this does not mean to let the fear of missing out overwhelm you, but the last thing you want to do is just lay around for 4 years. So attend events that you may find interesting, join clubs that have missions that you can resonate with, meet different types of people, and even go to the occasional party. Now, one of the reasons why we want to experience as much as we can is not only because it will accelerate your growth and maturity, but it will also allow you to find out a lot about yourself, which as a pre-medical student is crucial. College is one of the most conducive environments to finding yourself. Now, what do I mean by that? When you begin your college journey, you're more or less a blank slate, and the experiences that you have will begin to shape you over the course of these 4 years, and you'll experience an evolution in your perspectives, your passions, and the direction that you see for your life. But in order to reach that clarity, you have to be intentional about reflecting and taking real time for introspection. Because ultimately, the motivation to pursue a passion can't arise until the passion is actually known. So take time to examine yourself deeply, because those moments that you take to reflect will serve as the initial spark of inspiration that you will be able to use to drive you towards reaching your goals and overcoming any obstacles that are sure to be in your way. And that brings me to my last point on personal development. You're sure to face challenges and obstacles along this journey, but don't fear failure. If experience is life's greatest teacher, failure isn't too far behind. Now, failure rarely, if ever, actually feels good, but that doesn't mean that good can't come from it. I'd argue that a lot of the anxiety that students experience in college is from placing too much weight on their failures, which ultimately prevents them from growing and learning from these experiences. That one bad test or that one bad grade doesn't define you, nor does it define your future, but it can serve as something that you can learn from and grow from. You have to be able to learn from your failures, and it takes practice, but college is one of the best opportunities to learn this skill. If you can commit to these 3 things, experience as much as you can, find yourself, and learn from your failures or shortcomings, the growth that you will experience will serve you so well in the future. Now let's transition to the second category of getting the most that you can out of college, and that is setting a foundation to achieve your career goals. Now I'm going to speak primarily to my pre-meds out there, but regardless of what you're studying, the same principles apply. After finding yourself and establishing your passions and knowing the direction that you see for your life, you'll naturally start to realize certain career goals and ambitions that you have. And it's important that you use your time in college to set a good foundation for you to be able to reach these goals, especially if you're a pre-med student. As a pre-med student, you're repeatedly told how difficult it is to get into medical school and how over half of the applicants don't even get in. So in order to make sure you achieve your goals of getting into medical school and beyond, it's critical that you get the most out of your pre-med years. There are a few boxes that you want to check off as a pre-med student to make sure you have the best chances of being a successful medical school applicant. You want to have a good GPA, you want to score well on your MCAT, you want to be exposed to medicine, and you want to show commitment to something outside of academics or the medical field. Needing to get good grades is a given. No one major is preferred, it's just important that you do well in that major that you choose. And that's why it's so important to find yourself and know what your interests and your passions are as soon as possible, because then you'll actually be able to enjoy what you're learning, at least to a degree, and as a result, it will be easier to do well. This means creating high expectations for yourself and putting systems in place for you to actually achieve them. And if you're pre-med, you'll particularly want to do well in your pre-med classes. These are your classes like organic chemistry, biology, physics, all of the classes that you have to take before becoming a medical student. And it's important to do well in these classes, not only because your math and science GPA will be separated from your overall GPA when you apply to medical school, but if you do well in these courses, it's going to make studying for the MCAT that much easier. For those who don't know, the MCAT is the standardized exam that you have to take before applying to medical school, and you want to do well on it. It's a beastly 7.5-hour exam that goes over everything that you learned in your pre-med classes. So you want to make sure that you do well on this exam and dictate enough time, a substantial amount of time, whether that's during your undergrad years or your gap years, to study and prepare for this exam. I made 2 videos on how to approach and study for this exam, and I'll put the links to those 2 videos in the description below. You also want to use the time in your undergrad to gain exposure to medicine, whether that's research, shadowing, or volunteering at a clinic. You just want to get exposed to the field of medicine. Having this exposure is important for 2 main reasons. First, you need to know if this is something you want to do. Going into the medical field is a lot of money, it's a lot of time, it's a big commitment, and you don't want to be halfway through your training and figure out that this is not something that you're passionate about. And 2, this exposure to medicine will ultimately be an experience that will have a direct role in your ability to reach your career goals. Again, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it is exposing you to medicine and you explore this experience to a depth that you can talk about. When you're applying to medical school, they want to see that you've experienced medicine in a meaningful way. So again, whether that's research, volunteering, scribing, or shadowing, find something that you would enjoy doing that would also expose you to the field of medicine. And the more depth you get in that experience, the better. Instead of a research assignment for a class that takes 2 weeks to complete, write a thesis. Instead of shadowing once, make shadowing a regular part of your week or your month and develop that sincere relationship with the physician. Commit your time to deepening these experiences that expose you to medicine rather than stretching yourself too thin and taking on too many responsibilities. And that brings me to my last point. Commit time to something outside of the realm of academics or medicine. And again, it doesn't matter what it is. Most of you know, for me, it was sports, but for you, it could be music or a startup company or even starting up a YouTube channel. These experiences will not only be critical parts of your narrative, which is the most important part of your medical school application, but they will develop important skills in you, such as leadership and empathy. It will mature your perspective on a wide array of things. It will grow your network, and you will ultimately be exposed to incredible people. All of these are important in becoming a successful medical school applicant and medical student, but also a future physician, and honestly, just an overall good human being. And you may never have the amount of free time and the freedom and the surplus of opportunities to get involved in these extracurricular activities as you will in college. So that is how I would recommend getting the most out of your college experience in a way that's going to allow you to grow as a person while allowing you to set a foundation that you'll be able to use to reach your career goals. College is fun, and it's meant to be. It's one of the most memorable times of your life. But because of its impact on the rest of your life, it's important to get the most out of your college and pre-med years as you can. Lastly, I wanted to extend a congratulations to all the 2020 graduates out there, and I'm so sorry you were prevented from experiencing the normalcies of graduation because of the current pandemic that we're in. But that doesn't make your accomplishment any less meaningful. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to tap that thumbs up button and share it with someone who you think may find value in it. It shows incredible support to me and this channel. Be sure to subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss a video. New videos come in every week. But until the next one, keep evolving, and I'll see you guys next time.
I mean, it's supposed to go, like, you know, up here.
Put it on your lapel.
Oh.
If you want.
Facts. Because I think over here would be a little too much to the... I think it's, like, right here. How's that?
Nice.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.